Okay, so I am currently reviewing the footage that I just put together, the footage that I recorded mostly last
Okay,
night.
so is this a liberal whack job? Is this a Trump hater? Is this a ISIS member? Is this a Somali? She's probably Asian. The woman is. But you know, the Philippines has ISIS going on in it right now.
That was some of my thoughts from last night.
Is he somebody who had an axe to grind? Was he angry at country music?
Actually, it was this morning.
These are all good thoughts.
I'm fixing to upload this on YouTube and other places, just in case they take them down. I said I wasn't going to cover it anymore today, but I've decided, yes, I'll continue to cover it throughout the day and even throughout the days, because I was there from the beginning. And I was most of this video is Fox News because I was working on the
That's right.
first video. So you can hear Fox News in the background and me hollering out at the tape recorder every once in a while in the beginning of it. The first half of it. Then the last half was me reading headlines and all this. So I was pretty much tired by the time this part got to end the video. This is part 2 of my coverage for RockNRoll100FM.com and AnthonyPhillipsStone.com. AnthonyPhillipsStone.com is now a website with indexes to all my various different versions of my YouTube channels because I've got different things. I got my hobbies, I got my music, I've got my religious thoughts and all that. So, and of course my wrestling show, and I'm gonna bring my wrestling show. Indeed, that's what I was doing last night before I started my walking. I was recording my matches up for the next rounds of shows. I mean, writing down my thoughts about what I want to do to them. That's something I've never done before because I always forget where I'm at, and I don't even remember who my champions was. So I'm probably going to start a champion tournament. This time I'm going to keep a record of it. So that way I can look and see who is, because usually I only make these shows once a year. It's usually around the end of the year. I rarely ever make them any other time other than the ends of the year. It's usually through November, Halloween through January is usually how long I make them.
Can't wait to hear Hagman and Hagman today.
I'm
sure Doug Hagman will have some info on this.
I'm gonna go listen to Michael Savage
He's
tonight
always
too.
real good at assessing stuff like this. InfoWars too. I'll probably be asleep though, because I've been tired. Yeah, I was getting ready to go to bed when this happened. I mean, I was going to do my exercises and I was going to go to bed.
Yep. You can hear me in the background there. This is, like I said, I'm editing this. I'm listening to it. Just make sure, because there was one part I was worried about because I was fighting with one of my websites, and I wanted to make sure I didn't yell out my passwords or anything. So that's the reason I listened to it. I made sure that I didn't, because I was really I was struggling with this. We got the suckiest internet. But they claimed October 1st it'd be fixed. It's still crap.
That's
of course,
right.
we have.
I thought about all that stuff.
Yes, I did. You heard me cover it all in that video. And this part will be posted here too. It won't be as long as these two videos.
That's right. It's a terrorist attack.
So I'm going to close.
No matter whether it was ISIS, whether it was some idiot, whether it was some angry, deranged Trump hater, somebody who hated Jason Aldean, it's still terrorism. And I am going to close here.
This was the closing of my first. I did another section of it right before I went to bed. And like Alex Jones always says, if you catch this stuff going on, start recording. I just started recording, and I didn't know what I was talking about. I mean, I didn't have nobody telling me anything. I was just relying on my thoughts, but I was putting them out there, and I was putting it together. I'm going to start doing this more often. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this.
But I don't know what it sounded like with all that music and if you had earplugs in.
Yeah, I always wear earplugs. Like I was saying, we need to start doing this. We need to start not let these media people. Now I know I was watching Fox News. We can't just let them completely, because they will run with narratives of whatever they're told to do. Where us, the American people, or even a world citizen, because this is a worldwide thing.
It sounds just like on the movie.
Alex Jones called it today. This is a global threat. This is a global threat. And as citizen journalists, we need to take control of the narratives. ISIS has taken claim for it 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago, 2 or 3 hours ago. It was 2 hours when Alex Jones was when I was listening to him. That's probably been about an hour now. So it's probably about 3 hours ago. ISIS claimed Islamic skank. I called it last night, but Antifa stuff was seen all around. So it could be Antifa, because InfoWars and Doug Hagman was breaking this story last Friday. Hagman was doing it last month, the month before.
I was letting that info record, but they cut me off as usual.
So
Just put your stuff out there.
we can't let the media, and I know it's going to sound confusing because you're hearing me in the background there, because I'm editing this video and I'm just reviewing it.
My last report before I lay down. It's officially 7:20 a.m. I've had no sleep.
Let's be our own citizen journalists. Let's get our narratives out there. Let's take control of these narratives. Did I know what was going on? No, but I got up and I started recording and I started talking. And I did it all night long. And that's what we got to do. Because Alex Jones can't be on 24/7. I didn't even remember his name at the time I was done recording. So I still don't know what his name is. I got to find it out. I'll read it. The problem is when I'm recording, I can't read because my phone is usually taking it. Someone close. Okay, so I noticed I've got a hater. Someone gave me a thumbs down on my video assessment. Well, at least I was on my doing something about it instead of just sitting around and letting the news media take the narrative. So go ahead and give your thumbs down. Give me plenty of thumbs downs. I don't care. Because I'm going to do my videos regardless. And whether you like it or whether you don't. Because whether you know it or not, Islamic is a threat. Sure, I might have been jumping the gun. But, ISIS has claimed responsibility. So I probably wasn't too far off the mark. Like I was saying earlier, we got to start taking the narratives. We got to start taking control of the narratives. Sure, I didn't know what was going on. I was just discussing my thoughts. And if you don't like my thoughts, I don't give a damn. I don't care. You got that? That's the way I see things. I'm not no white supremacist. I'm an American. And Islam doesn't belong in America. You can like that. You can not like it. I don't care. You got that? You got that? So go ahead and keep giving your thumbs down. I'm going to keep speaking anyway. I've been speaking since the beginning and I ain't about to stop yet. Of course, maybe that was just some kind of hater. We know they're out there. And particularly one hater, and he knows who he is. Latest update, and this is the breaking news on the Fox News website. Vegas in shock. Death toll climbs to 58 as police seek maniac gunman's motive. Now, according to Alex Jones' sources, he had Antifa literature all over. And here is the rest of the story. Las Vegas shooting. At least 58 dead in massacre. Trump calls act of pure evil. A gunman turned at a Las Vegas concert into a killing-filled Sunday night from his perch on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, using at least 10 guns to round. Let me pause that. I'm reading. I don't know why they put these embedded videos and stuff on these pages and make them automatically play, because they interrupted me. So I'm going to go back to this, what I was reading. using at least 10 guns to rain down a stream of steady fire, murdering at least 58 people and injuring more than 500 others in the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history. And it turns out he was not a foreign citizen, I'm supposing. He was obviously white. He was 64 years old. He was the suspect who died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. That is not true according to InfoWars' info. They were the teams that were there was one of the ones that was responding to him. The suspect who died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound was identified as 64-year-old Stephen Paddock. Now, there's his name. This is finally his first time I've reported his name. I didn't know his name. I was so tired this morning. And when I woke up, I still didn't have time to find out his name, so I'm updating it here. Police initially sought after a woman believed to be Paddock's roommate, Mary Lou Denley, as a person of interest. Detectives later made contact with her and do not believe she is involved with the shooting on the Strip. I'm starting to think that maybe they're starting to cover this thing up, just like they do in Chattanooga, Tennessee. As you know, I did a whole podcast on that. You can look back on it. It was back in, there was a bomb scare. It was all over Channel 9 and all that. And I thought it was a terrorist attack. Particularly, I was thinking Antifa when I was thinking it. Because Toby Keith actually played for the inaugural. So I was thinking that was, but it turns out that these liberal whack jobs, it looks like they're going to be targeting conservative things. That's the reason they're targeting country music, because country music is known for people that are usually conservative. They're usually white, with a few Hispanics to listen to it. Most of them are white. So this was probably a liberal whack job, most likely an Antifa, just like Alex Jones has reported. And I can get some more thumbs downs on my videos. Woohoo! To quote the woohoo in the Road Rash video games. I love to play in that. It's old, but that's if I get out video games, that's usually what I play. Woohoo! Give me some more thumbs downs. Because at least I was getting off my butt and at least I was recording. And I was tired. I wasn't going to completely 100% let these media control the narrative. So I'm going to close this part. This is going to be part 3 to my Las Vegas coverage. And there you have it. Stephen Paddock, 64 years old. Supposedly died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, but Alex Jones' source said that they were fighting with him. So who knows if I'm remembering right? It'll be on Infowars.com. He'll have the reports. So I'm gonna close. Thank you. 3:50 p.m. My coverage was mostly just bystander, just watching the news. I didn't have I was using my phone to record with, so I couldn't look at Twitter, or I didn't have my computer out. I finally did eventually get it out when I was editing the video, and you heard that in my second part of my video, part 2. This is for part 3. I haven't completely closed it just yet. As I was saying earlier, I got a thumbs down. I don't know who done it. I had a suspicion of who I thought might have done it, but then I thought about it. I got to thinking that somebody, these people, they make guides of this stuff. They make guides of the flag. They make guides of the patriotism. They make guides of the troops. They make guides of the United States of America. The truth is, I went to that show, and I had been following Hinder around quite a bit for fun. And this woman, I didn't appreciate her accusing me of being a terrorist. And I don't worship the military. I don't worship the military industrial complex. I'm not going to apologize. I don't care how many thumbs downs I get. I'm not totally anti military. And I support the troops who are supportable. They are true, whether you know it or not. They are scumbags who serve in the military. That scumbag that shot Dimebag Darrell. He wasn't a hero. Everybody that serves in the military isn't a hero. I don't worship the guy to the soldier. I don't bow down to that statue. I don't bow down to that idol. I don't bow down to the idol of the U.S. Army. I don't bow down to none of that stuff. I'm not an army worshiper. I'm not a military worshiper. I think we got to have a good military for defense. That's defense. That's not going into countries, and that's not stirring up trouble in Iraq to go to war because somebody hurt, some made threats to my daddy. Made threats to my daddy. I'd kill for my daddy. Oh, Jeb Bush. I'd kill for my daddy. That's exactly what George W. and Jeb Bush done. They killed for daddy. I don't worship at the military industrial complex altar. So you can give me thumbs down all you want to. As far as military is concerned, I support Trump. I support going after ISIS. ISIS is a threat. ISIS is taking claim for this concert. This guy had drug paraphernalia all over his room, according to InfoWars. He had whiskey bottles everywhere, liquor bottles or whatever, and he had ISIS and Antifa literature all over his room. Now, this is the anniversary, the 100th anniversary of the communist revolution. Now, I've talked about that all year long in my podcast. I've talked about how dangerous Antifa is. The media is not covering this. They would rather pretend that this is just a regular shooting. This was not a regular shooting. There's even reports from a 10th floor shooter, along with the 32nd shooter. Now, I don't know how true this is either. As you know, they whitewash everything. They whitewashed Chattanooga several times, 2 times that I know of. Riverbend, 2017, and the shooting in 2015. That shooter. Radicalism is a threat. If somebody give me a thumbs down on that, because I started in about that, I will. I'm not going to back down on that either. I don't care whether you like it or not. But if you're just a military worshiper, and if you got offended about me saying that if the football players were actually taking a knee because the Department of Defense gave money was paying for the patriotism so boys would line up. Sure, we need a good army. But army worship. I grew up on G.I. Joe too. But you know what the purpose of G.I. Joe was? It was to get boys to sign up for the military. That's all it was. The government was involved with G.I. Joe, just like supposedly the Dutch part. Now, I don't know. This was a video. I just seen it last night on YouTube, and I commented on it in my video. And I have a feeling that I've got to thinking about it really heavy. And that's probably what the source of my thumbs down was. But you know something? Worship your military. Go on over there and serve. Go ask Joe Biggs. He went over there. Joe Biggs is the one I see as my hero. He come over here and he worked for InfoWars for a couple years. I loved his reports. He even went down there to the border and walked across dressed up as a jihadi. And nobody paid attention. But ask Joe Biggs about this military industrial complex. He served it. He's a hero in my book. He served it. I'm not anti-military. I'm anti-globalism. I'm anti-New World Order. I'm anti-America being the stronghold of the New World Order. And I will continue to be anti-New World Order. And this is what this is. It's about finishing us off. It's about finishing off this nation. Alex Jones predicted it Friday. He went into it about what Antifa was planning. Antifa and the radical left, the Democrats, the radical Democrats. Now, if them football players really are just taking a knee for Black Lives Matter, I don't support that. Because a lot of times, if you watch these videos, especially that Brown guy, or whatever his name was, the one that was the big case, I can't think of his name, Michael something. I don't want to talk about that poor man in New York, because he was innocent. Savage. Even Savage had a fit about him. But that one that was in the store, and he got shot by the white cop, and they made such a big deal about it. And I can't, forgive me for not remembering the names here, but Ferguson, it caused all that rioting. I don't agree with that. I don't approve of that. Because a lot of these people, they bring it on themselves. There's been some innocent people that got shot and gunned down. But most of the time, there's a reason they get gunned down. And there's things that we don't see. They start recording when they want to record. So you got to keep that in mind, too. And I won't support these football players for bowing the knee to that, because that's a bunch of junk. But if they was actually, and if I knew this, I wouldn't say another word about them. Because we don't need people just joining the military just to join the military. We don't need boys lining up to join the military and to do all this flag worshiping and America worshiping, all to just get more, as the song goes by Marilyn Manson, the whatever it's called. We speak American and all that. I'm American, or we're American, or we're whatever it is. It's his song. I can't even think of it right now. But it goes on about sending our sons to war. We don't want we don't want to kill our unborn. We need them to grow up and fight for wars. I know a lot of people on the right and don't like Marilyn Manson, and I understand. I do understand. I grew up listening to him before I was right or left. I was just a stupid kid that liked rock and roll music, and I liked Alice Cooper, and I liked Kiss, and I liked all those bands like that, and I even liked Marilyn Manson because he was the epitome of a horror movie that I grew up watching too, and I shouldn't have watched those things. I admit, I shouldn't have watched that garbage. That garbage was killing my brain, but I was a kid. I didn't know better. And I understand why people don't like him, but he's more anti-religious than anything. I mean, I don't like religion either. I'm Christian. I don't like religion. I believe in Jesus Christ. And if that's another thing you take offense to, he is going to deal with these evil people. I mean, there's a scripture in the Bible about the people standing in the sea during the end times in the Revelations where they're begging him for his revenge. And he says just a little while longer. He's going to pay vengeance to these people. So if that's another thing, he's not that little peaceful thing that y'all think he is. He come here as a man of peace to spread his message, but that's not how he's going to return. He's going to return as the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. And he's going to pay back these evildoers. That guy is sitting in hell right now. That guy's sitting and waiting in Hades. He ain't in hell yet because he ain't been casted. Hell's an actual casting into the lake of fire. I guess he's already in hell, it just ain't been casted in the lake of fire. He's sitting in darkness right now, this piece of filth. This liberal, Antifa, ISIS piece of filth. That's what you took issue with. I don't care about that either. Because you'll just have to take your issues. Because I voiced my opinion, and at least I was up at night doing some citizen journalism, and I might not knew what I was talking about, but I had this feeling. I just had this feeling. ISIS has made these calls for those kind of attacks. This was coordinated. You could just tell by listening to it. This sounds like a war movie. That audio sounds like a war movie. Then you're going to have the false narrative, and it might be a false narrative. Because they're wanting to take away this country. They're wanting to undermine. I'm sure they would like to get martial law declared so they can remove Donald Trump. Then again, this could have just been a piece of crap Donald Trump hater. He was attacking a country music show. Country music show, like I said earlier, is known for people usually are conservative to listen to country music. You got a few liberals. You got people of all walks of life that listens to everything. Marilyn Manson has a big community of different people of all races and colors and creeds and religions. He has Christians that listen to him. He has Buddhists to listen to him. He has Muslims to listen to him. He has a whole different walks of life that listen to him. When you start cohorting with the fans, you realize that. He has witches and Wiccans and all that stuff. He has it all. Atheists. The atheists don't usually like the rest of us, and they're vocal about it. Marilyn Manson has all those things. I don't know why I'm discussing Marilyn Manson. He got hurt the other night. His gun display fell on him when he was climbing. One could say he shouldn't have been doing that as anti-gun. You can bet he's doing anti-gun. Probably so, and that's where the liberals are going. They're hollering, disarm us. Hillary Rodham Clinton, the evil smut that I've addressed all year long, the evil that thank God we don't have as a president. Thank God we don't have as a president. But I feel sorry for these people. Their lives are ruined for the rest of their lives. I'm sure Jason Aldean and them probably feel like they've been in a war zone. They have been in a war zone, and I'm sure them fans are even just as bad. Seeing all those dead bodies and all that, I'm sure that's been very destructive on them. But I'm not going to take back anything I said, and I'm not going to take it back about the military. I don't like being brainwashed. I didn't like that. I didn't like being accused of being a terrorist at that very event that I was. When they don't screen, they don't. I bet you they don't even ask Muslims whether they're terrorists or not. They're probably afraid they'll make them mad or hurt their feelings. But I was a white dude. I was the white racist, the white dude. You know, the ones that I had the blue jeans on and a t-shirt, and even more terrorist, I had a pair of sunglasses and one of those French caps on, one of those newsboys hats. So I was on her target list. Had blue jeans on and a t-shirt. But I don't bow down to the military, and if that's the reason you gave me the thumb down, then thank you. Thank you for the thumbs down. I'll take it because I'm not worshiping at the military golden calf. I'm not a part of the industrial complex. I'm anti-New World Order. I voted for Ryan Paul. I voted for that other guy the first time, the one from Georgia. The second time I voted for Ryan Paul in the elections against Obama. I didn't vote for neither one. I wasn't voting for John McCain. And I wasn't voting for Mittens. Mittens Romney. That Michael Savage calls him. Mittens. I just thought of it. Mittens. Okay, I'm going to close. Thank you for listening. This is for that scumbag who did the shooting. Because that's what he's trying to do. If he really was Antifa, he was trying to take away this United States of America. And this is from the inauguration in the background. When Lee Greenwood sang for our President of the United States, number 45, the man who wanted to restore America, Donald J. Trump. Which is what they all hate. That's what this is all about. They want to see him gone. But even if you do get rid of him, you got the rest of us to deal with. And we will stand up. And I don't mean worship in the military-industrial complex. We will defend America. That's the reason I did that video last night. I just knew ISIS was involved. I figured Antifa was involved. I didn't know if it was a Somali. I didn't know what it was because they wasn't even reporting. They do this every time. I always hide the identity of the person. He was obviously an American citizen. Maybe. But this is dedicated to that scumbag. You didn't win, scumbag. There was plenty of people who said we're Americans on Fox News last night while this was going on. And we are Americans. And we will defeat you, communist bastards. Ronald Reagan raised a bunch of us in his generation. And I hope more of us stand up like me. Because you know, I didn't even get it back then. But I get it now. I used to laugh and scoff at this song. And any kind of patriotism. I didn't even do the pledge and stuff when I was a kid. But you know something? I regret every bit of that. Because I was just a dumb kid. But today I'll stand up. I use my voice. I say things that are dangerous. But I do it because I love my country. I love God. I don't want to be under their Buddha tyranny. So when I chose this theme here to play, I decided to get the one from the inaugural. So I think I'll make this the last video. May God bless the USA. May God bless those people that had lived with this terrorist attack. But may God's justice come down on the ones that plotted it, and the ones that done it, and the ones that are behind it. And if Antifa and their meetings are behind all this, I hope God crushes them. And I know that's the same as ISIS, that's the same as Islam. It's not, because we're not talking about us doing it. He says, vengeance is his, says the Lord, and vengeance will be his.